we do believe that there is a misperception about press freedom. Press freedom is not freedom of speech expanded to newsroom. It is not the ability for journalists to give their opinion. I think if they do that, they will face the disdain and disinterest of the public. And unfortunately, too often this perception is shared in newsrooms. So we believe that journalism, on the contrary, is the agency for journalists, the ability to work. And that includes, of course, safety first. Safety is paramount because, you know, a good journalist is a journalist that is alive. That's the journalist we need. We need journalists to be immune from prison, not being targeted, killed. And one of the criteria that we look into in the World Press Freedom Index is safety. But on top of that, we also evaluate the question of the political and the legal context. Are the political forces enabling the work of journalists? Are they undermining the ability for journalists to do their work? Are they discrediting journalists? We're also looking into the legal framework. Is it weaponized against media? Is it helping media create and strive? And two other criteria, because we have 5 criteria, are obviously the social context. Are the media representative of society? Are they giving a voice to the voiceless or to the diversity of a nation? And we have a specific interest this year for the 5th indicator, which is the question of the economy of the media. And I would like to emphasize that because, first of all, the World Press Freedom Index is not, and many politicians ask me this question, it's not a ranking of the government actions. It's a thermometer that gives the temperature of the media in one country. And not everything, hopefully, is not in the hands of the government. It's also about the interaction with society, it's about the economy of the media, and so on. So this year, we have decided to choose one angle to try and describe the situation worldwide, which is the economy. Last year, we had put the emphasis on the role of politicians and policymakers in giving a good example and upholding the constitutional rights in many countries for a free press. I think the political angle in 2024 has proved right. We've seen lots of politicians in a great diversity of countries engaging in public conversations against journalists. And Donald Trump, for example, has been elected as a president not because he was elected despite he lacked the support of the press, but because he assaulted verbally the press repeatedly. It has become a strategy for politicians to do that. So we see that at national level, but we also see that at international level. And RSF has been championing the cause of Palestinian journalists at risk, for example. And the least we can say is that the international community has failed to protect them. The institutions at global level have not been able to hold the state of Israel and Israel Defense Forces accountable for what they're doing. So last year was the political angle, and I think it was relevant. This year we put the emphasis on the economy of the media. Why is that so? Because we saw, obviously, that it's the lowest of the 5 indicators. It has been at its lowest in 2025. And we see that in a majority of countries, about 2/3, the people that were surveyed are saying that it is impossible to find a sustainable course for the media. In other words, the media are fragilized economically. And what happens when media are fragilized economically is that they might be tempted to please powers, to obey some of their ideological or political or economical interests. They might also engage in commercial activities, in propaganda. All of that is something that we believe is hurting journalism. And it's a disservice to the cause in many ways. So that is some of the responses that media outlets, while fragilizing their economy, can engage in. And it could even be worse. We can see oligarchs, people with new-made money, building empires in the media very fast. It's something that we've seen in Central Europe, we've seen that to some extent in India, and we think it's really important to state that there is nothing wrong about concentration of media, about the fact that ownership is concentrated. What we need are independence guarantees for the newsroom, and trying to avoid that the media serve the interest of the owners in other fields of activity. We have a fair amount of countries in the world where there are big concentrated media groups, but there are media groups which have made their money in the media and which are legitimately and rightfully and respectfully providing news information. So that's about what could go wrong. In other words, I would